Joe Biden is making the biggest mistake of his entire presidency. I mean, seriously, this is the worst and the dumbest thing that I've seen anybody do. It's really hard to believe that right now we live in America, this free country for now, and not really free anymore. If Biden is actually going to push through these ridiculous dictatorship-like mandates. So if you don't already know, this is something that just came out yesterday. I've been posting about this on Gab like crazy, but Biden is now looking at basically clamping down and forcing his will onto every private company in the United States, over 100 employees, by forcing them to mandate vaccines. The same thing, by the way, in 2020 that he said he wasn't going to do. When he was campaigning, he said he wouldn't do that. He lied, and nobody wants to call him out on this. Honestly, I don't think Joe Biden is controlling any of this, but let's go ahead and get into the story. So before I do, just a quick reminder to like this video and to subscribe to the channel as well here also. So let's go ahead and jump in. So companies with at least 100 employees must require their employees to get vaccinated or submit a weekly COVID-19 test under the new Biden administration plan. So that was effectively what he was trying to do before. So the what he's going through here is that he's scheduled to outline a revamped federal strategy against COVID-19 that includes far more invasive regulations. Like I said, this is a 6-point plan to crack down on companies that have 100 or more employees. Now, this is really weird because the problem is, besides it's just, of course, being ridiculous, is like for the company that I work with, we have more than 100 employees that with my company, but most of us are actually working from home. So are they going to require that we're vaccinated even though we don't even work in the office anymore? A lot of this stuff hasn't even been detailed, and we'll see where this goes. So right now, once again, 80 million private sector workers is how many people this is going to affect. And businesses that don't comply can face fines up to $14,000 per violation. Here we go. This is very similar to the college things, the college campus required vaccinations where you were fined and charged all this money for not doing this, by the way. That we've seen this take place. This isn't the first time, but this is Biden being a dictator. And everybody was calling Trump a dictator last year. I mean, you remember that, really not just last year, but over the past 4 years. Anytime Trump wanted to do something, he was a dictator. Everything they accused Trump of, Biden is doing. But they're letting it slide because they know that this guy is messing this up. They know this. Very soon, the United States could start looking like Australia, where they have no freedoms. They have zero freedoms. So let's go ahead and watch some of the clips here. This is of Biden going through detailing through some of the plans and all that stuff. So this is a breaking 9/11 going through some of this. So let's go ahead and watch some of these clips here. Here's the first one here.
Virus. If we can come together as a country and use those tools, if we raise our vaccination rate, protect ourselves and others with masking, expanded testing, and identify people who are infected, we can and we will turn the tide on COVID-19. It'll take a lot of hard work. It's going to take some time. Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated, even though the vaccine is safe, effective, and free. You might be confused about what is true and what is false about COVID-19. So before I outline the new steps to fight COVID-19 that I'm going to be announcing tonight, let me give you some clear information about where we stand.
So the thing is that he's saying it's effective, but where is he drawing these effective numbers from? Because the stuff that we've been legitimately seeing has been showing right now with the new variants, these vaccines are around 50%, 50-50. A lot of them are lower than that. Pfizer was 42% effective against the Delta variant. So where is he getting this from? Plus, they have no way of testing for the variant right now. So they have no idea what's considered as what as far as how effective these vaccines are. I mean, really, and you have to wonder, guys, if the vaccines worked so well, why is it that you're forcing everybody else to do this? I mean, this is the question that we have to ask. This is coming from the guy that said, if you just get the vaccine, you'll be okay. If you get the vaccine, you'll be fine. But that's not what's happening because you're still being told to wear a mask. And then, of course, they need someone to blame. That's where the unvaccinated come into play here, okay? They are trying to blame the unvaccinated for this issue because they can't just admit that their vaccine doesn't work anywhere near as well as they thought it was going to. That's the fact on the ground here. So He goes on in this clip here.
Tonight, I'm asking each of you to reach out to your unvaccinated patients over the next 2 weeks and make a personal appeal to them to get the shot. America needs your personal involvement in this critical effort. My message to unvaccinated Americans is this: what more is there to wait for?
I'll tell you what more there is to wait for. Actual information showing that these are even remotely effective whatsoever and not going to cause long-term damage. We have nothing telling us otherwise right now. We're just speculating at this point.
What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval.
Yeah, not really though. So I kind of reported on it being FDA approved, but it's still under the emergency use is one of those things also.
Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot.
Okay, so because all these other people did it, then you must do it as well. Because, of course, you're just a sheep, guys. If you see this is the same argument that all of your parents, if you had even remotely decent parents, told you not to do, right? If you see 200 million people jump over a cliff, are you going to do it too? Like that, the answer to that question should be, no, I'm not going to just do it because everybody else is doing it. I'm going to actually look into this. This is literally the opposite of what most people are taught as children, what we're taught in our lives. You don't just follow people and just do it because it's the popular thing to do. If that was the case, we'd be doing a lot of things we probably shouldn't be doing right now. But as a mature person, you understand that you need to make decisions for yourself based off of good values that you have, not because 200 million people did it, so you should do it too.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
Your patience, okay.
And your refusal has cost all of us. So please do the right.
See, but notice what he's saying here. Your refusal to get the vaccine has cost all of us. Once again, blaming the unvaccinated because their vaccine does not work. What do they think the vaccine was supposed to be? I mean, seriously, what do they think that this vaccine was supposed to be? Was it ever supposed to be this thing that only worked if 100% of people do it? Because otherwise, if everybody in the United States right now, let's just play this out. If everybody in the United States, every single person got the vaccine except for one person, and then all of these people that are around that one person all catch COVID. Some of them die from COVID. All these cases are from COVID. The people that are vaccinated still transmit COVID to all these people. Guys, it's always, the Democrats are always going to do this. There's never going to be a point in time where they're going to be like, oh, okay, I guess we'll get vaccinated and he'll stop talking about it. Guys, it's never going to end. This is not about your health. This is about control. This is about them trying to tell you what you should and should not do. That's all this is. If you're looking for the dictator, it's Biden. It never was Trump. It was always Biden. Trump was the one saying that you should have your freedoms to do this. That's the biggest difference here. But of course, Democrats don't care to notice the details here. So he goes on.
Blunt. My plan also takes on elected officials in states that are undermining you and these life-saving actions. Right now, local school officials are trying to keep children safe in a pandemic while their governor picks a fight with them.
Now, first of all, those teachers are not trying to keep students safe. They're trying to keep themselves safe. They're entirely concerned about themselves. I was running a report on this on my show where the CDC changed their mask guidelines for schools because of pressure from the teachers union. This had nothing to do with science at all, okay? They need to stop trying to pretend like they care about the kids because it never was about that. If you look at the actual stats, we know that kids are not even remotely likely to die from COVID at all. It just is something that they've continued to lie about. But who is talking about here about these governors? He's talking about Ron DeSantis. Let's be honest here. I'm in Florida. Ron DeSantis is one of the ones that's actually been fighting to make sure that we actually can keep our freedoms here. And Ron DeSantis actually chimed in a bit on this as well, saying that he's going to fight back against this, of course. And I hope that he does, because we don't want these rules here in Florida. We don't want these rules anywhere where people should have their freedoms. So Ron DeSantis kind of shortly basically was saying, how can we get to the point in this country where you would want to have someone lose their job because of their choice about the vaccine or not? He's like, I mean, some folks have their reasons to do so. Maybe they're making the wrong decision, but to put them out of work and not let them earn a living because of this, I think that's just fundamentally wrong. So obviously he's going to be doing everything he can to be fighting against this, and I hope that he does, because Somebody has to fight against this literal tyranny at this point. All the people that are saying that Trump is a dictator, they have no idea what a dictator is, because that is exactly what Biden is doing as well. And then he's basically saying that people are going to be charged extra for this stuff also.
I'm announcing that the Transportation Safety Administration, the TSA, will double the fines on travelers that refuse to mask. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. And by the way, show some respect.
See, so this is what we're dealing with right now. This is what we're dealing with right now. This arrogant person coming down and telling us, you must do this, you must do that. And, oh, if you refuse to wear a mask on a plane that's crowded full of people where you can't even literally socially distance, then it's supposed to make sense. Once again, I just don't understand why people just don't realize what's happening here. I don't understand why somebody isn't on the plane wearing a mask right up next to somebody where they're allowing you to eat your food, right? Your little snacks, and then you're pulling the mask down to do it, putting it back up to do it. By the way, if you have your mask below your nose, nobody will tell you anything about it, or you needing to wear it properly. If you're wearing a cloth mask, which we know aren't that effective at all, they don't care. If you're wearing a bandana, they won't say a word to you. How does this work? I mean, it's just a political move. This stuff isn't doing anything. It isn't doing anything. But yet, for some reason, they want to pretend as if that's what this is about. This was never about your health. This is the stupidest, worst decision I've ever seen anybody make in a presidency. I'm telling you right now, this is the dictatorship that we've been warning about. Be careful, because once we lose our freedoms, it is going to be almost impossible to get them back, because of people like Biden, because of this administration. They never will understand. They never will get it. They never will get it through their heads. And I posted extensively about this on Gab and everywhere else. They're ignoring the natural antibody science. They're ignoring all of that in favor of just forcing you to do what they want you to do. That's never what this should have been about. You know, now we went from 15 days to slow the spread, like I posted here, to 15 days to find another job. I mean, that's really where we're at right now. Maybe your 2 weeks notice, really. 15 days to give your notice that you're going to be leaving, because now you may not be able to work anymore. All because of a vaccine that we know isn't as effective at all as they're trying to make it out to be. So with that being said, well, I'll keep covering this. I'll be talking about this more in depth on the show as well. But I thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one.